Hi, this is Susan Kibler from Delivering Dreams. I am here today, April 9th, to update you on the situation in Ukraine with COVID-19 and how it's affecting Ukrainian surrogacy. A little bit of background, the current situation. The lockdown, everyone is in lockdown. This will be familiar with most of you around the world. So the only things that are open are grocery stores, gas stations, banks, and pharmacies. And you're not allowed to go out unless you're wearing a mask and going to one of these essential places. They really want to do the same thing most places all around the world are, keep people away from each other and keep the disease from spreading as much as possible. So this lockdown was, and the quarantine was put in place very, very early. They had their first case on March 16th. It was someone that was returning from holiday in Italy. And as of now, as of yesterday, there are very big differences in the estimates and the sources. So my estimate based on what I've seen is about 2,000 cases in Ukraine. However, like in New York City and probably many places around the world, I think this might be higher because deaths at home may not be counted and people aren't often cases going to the doctor. In addition, some cases might be attributed to other factors than the coronavirus. So starting in early March, there was a quarantine that shut down all the schools and all essential businesses. That was initially set in place until April 3rd and then was extended a couple of weeks ago till April 24th. And in this period, there's been a huge outpouring of support from China. They've given over 300,000 ventilators, 35,000 protective suits, and over 2 million masks. They started shipments in March 23rd, and they've been continuing since then. Hopefully, this will also help. The Ukrainian government has estimated that they think the peak of the disease will come around April 15th to 25th. I'm hoping that this potentially optimistic assessment is a correct one. We shall see. Lots of things we have put in place to date are really helping protect our surrogates and donors in this situation. However, let me first talk a tiny bit about how it's affecting you as intended parents looking at surrogacy in Ukraine. The biggest obstacle now is the closing of borders in Ukraine. So no new intended parents or commissioning parents can visit Ukraine, and if they're there with their child, or if their child's been born, they can't get there or can't get out. In addition, although we did manage to get a family out a couple of weeks ago, despite the lockdown and quarantine. In addition, you can't ship any biological material. So eggs, sperm, embryos are all on hold. The consulates are closed, and so a big problem, well, not all consulates are closed. Some are operating on a very, very limited restrictive basis, but they're trying to deal with the situation. And the U.S. Embassy yesterday, that would be April 8th, announced that they're having a plane that would be evacuating, and there was a little bit of uncertainty there, but it did mention that they were going to be dealing with younger people. So travel restrictions will permit the birth documentation. The government has closed down the registration office, so you can't get your birth certificate. This is a really big point. So even if your embassy and your consulate, we have to make sure that you can get that document. So what are we doing in all these situations? We're working with the embassies to take action. a lot of different embassies, a lot of different couples from all over the world. And we've been trying to work on solutions before the children are born. We're only screening we're surrogates and donors that are right on top of our clinics. And this really means that our screening and donor screening has come to a stop because transportation has been completely shut down within the country. They took moves very fast, shut down the metros, shut down intercity transportation, and all domestic flights. So most surrogates and donors can't get to our facilities, our clinics. Those that are pregnant, we are treating at local clinics close to their homes, and virtually our doctors are overseeing this process. We've, of course, educated all our surrogates and donors about the virus and illnesses and protective measures they can take. For you around the world, it's kind of hard to avoid this, and they are smart, educated, and responsible women with their own children and families, so they're taking care as much as possible, not only to protect your child, but to protect themselves and their family. We've also implemented a program for those of you that have already chosen a surrogate or donor, that if a surrogate or donor does get coronavirus, we would replace that person at no extra cost for you. Let's see. We've stopped all medical treatments on March 12th, and we're going to reassess that on April 12th. However, very, very much, I think that's going to be continued until the end of the quarantine. So what are we doing now? We're spending a lot of time with couples preparing documentation, preparing both the legal documentations and the medical documentation you need to get approved and get started. You can still consult with doctors at any time you need. And this is actually, if you want to look at the silver lining, for those of you that may want to improve the quality of your biological material, this is an excellent time to get a consultation and get treatment if necessary, so that the quality of your sperm can increase significantly over the next couple of months before you donate that. We are preparing with shipping companies and IVF clinics everything that's necessary so that as soon as the borders of Ukraine open, we can ship. And we are monitoring, like I said, super monitoring everyone involved in all our programs. And that includes not only, as I mentioned, the surrogate donors, but all our medical staff, coordinators, and everyone that deals with the surrogates. Looking forward, I do not expect activity to resume until the 24th of April at a minimum. I will continue to give you updates as much as I know, and they keep changing all the time and every day. One more thing you can do that I very much encourage you to do is reach out to us if you have questions. I'm sure if you have questions, everyone else does as well. Please feel free to contact us by email. You can contact me directly at susan@delivering-dreams.com, through our WhatsApp or phone or text at 1 for the US, 908-386-3864. We also have a number for our location in Ukraine and a virtual number for Ireland if you want to contact us through there. Everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll come to you with more updates in the near future. Take care.